But the final person that I could not forgive was was the young man that had abused me when I was 5. He'd gone. He died. He died of cancer, I heard. Look, I did catch up with him when I was 16. He was in his 30s then, and I tried to kill him.
Yeah.
And of course, the police got involved, and that began my journey with the police. But I couldn't tell the police why I'm beating this guy up. There was so much hatred. And some years back, I had the privilege of, I had a friend of mine who I had a meal with her, and she was sitting opposite me, and she knew that she was dealing with her own trauma because her son had been killed by her ex. Right?
Yeah.
Right? She's a fairly well-known person,
Okay.
and she's sitting opposite me, and she knew that I was dealing with this unforgiveness because I said, how can you forgive the man that murdered your child? And she said to me, it's not for him, it's for me. If I don't forgive him, then unforgiveness is like a cancer that eats away at my soul, my spirit, and then he's won. So in forgiving him and letting it go, I am free. I haven't lost my humanity.
Yes.
And I thought about that. That stayed with me. And so I had to sort of speak it out one night alone. I spoke it out, and I forgave the man that abused me as a child because he was the product. And she said to me, she forgave him not because he deserved to be forgiven. She said, I did it because that is the right thing to do. It will prevent me from becoming who he wanted me to be. Tormented, monstrous, hateful, vengeful. And I realized I still had that sort of hatred, that vengeance. And so when I forgave the person that abused me, it took me to another level.
It's like hatred is a cancer, isn't it?
Yeah,
like
that's what she said.
If you have hatred inside of you,
yeah,
it just eats away. And how do you have any enjoyment or zest for life?
Yeah.
I can't imagine that, though. Yeah, it's very noble.
I think I needed someone like her. Her child had been brutally murdered by the dad, and for her to forgive him. I thought that was ludicrous at the time, but, I understand the power of forgiveness. It does, I can't quite articulate it, but it does something to you. It changes you in here. And so the cancer is gone. So I'm able to, love people unconditionally now. And it's the power of love and respect and dignity and unconditional positive regard, whatever you want to call it, that shapes and changes people. So, yeah.
What about being forgiven for those that you've hurt?
Look, I am sorry for the people that I've hurt, and there are people that have forgiven me, and there are people that will never forgive me, but I have to accept that. I have to accept that. I am the cause of pain in a lot of people, unfortunately, and they may never forgive me, but I don't seek their forgiveness.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It's like an accept.
My journey is not predicated on their acceptance or forgiveness. Yeah, it's a journey of growth. I now have to avoid hurting anyone else. Do you know what I mean? I am sorry for what I did. The most important thing is that you have to be, sorry for what you've done. Yep. I'm sorry for the people that I've hurt. Yes, I can blame it on circumstances and situations that caused me to become the person I was. I can blame it on the drugs. I can blame it on the alcohol. But I have to take responsibility. And sometimes there's the consequences of those actions, with the law,
I think when you live a spiritually aligned life, when you give back to others, when you're observed, where you're a good moral citizen, I think it has acceptance, doesn't it?
Definitely. My mother always used to talk about the dude who walked on the water, who was the king of forgiveness, and she sort of always said, you need to think about him, and I thought, well, if he can forgive people after getting nailed on a cross, well, then I can certainly forgive the people that hurt me. Yeah, I think that sort of example was very powerful. That's the ultimate expression of love and forgiveness, I think. Not just to forgive, but to treat people with love and respect, and understanding that we often, people and as well as ourselves, we are the product of our circumstances. We are the product of the choices we make, and we become who we don't want to be. But we can change that. We have the power to change that. Forgiveness, to forgive others, is certainly the key, but also not to predicate our journey on whether we're forgiven or not. There are those that might not forgive us.
Yeah.
But they have a right not to forgive us.
Yeah.
But that's not going to stop me from loving them and respecting them. And that sounds a bit corny, but
it's right. Yeah. Sometimes it's none of my business whether someone forgives me.
That's right.
In a funny way.
That's right.
But if if I choose to forgive and love myself, then it allows me to love and to feel love.